Okay, so good morning, superstars.
Good morning.
Yeah, so Lisa, I'll start, Lisa, which Lisa? Lisa Fost. I'll start with you.
Okay.
And if you guys would just introduce yourself, say which office and how long you've been in the business.
Okay. I'm Lisa Faust and I'm out of Wing Haven. And I have been in the business now going into my 4th year.
Awesome. The other Lisa, you want to go next?
Hi, my name is Lisa Veit. I'm from the St. Charles office, and I have been in the business a little less than 2 years.
Casey? Thank you.
Okay. I'm Casey Rutherford. I'm at the South County office, and October is officially my 1 year.
Yay, awesome. Okay, Ashley?
Yeah, I'm Ashley Kondracki, and I'm at the Jefferson County office. As an active agent, I've been it'll be a year and a half.
Cool, awesome. Okay, Josh? You're muted, Josh.
I'll get used to that. I'm Josh, obviously. I am out of the Northwest office. I have been in the business 2.5 years now.
Good, awesome. Joy?
Hey guys, I'm Joy from Wing Haven, and I think it was just 2 years.
Yep.
For me.
So, yeah, welcome. Well, I'm very excited about this. So I sent you all a couple questions, and if you just want to, I'll start with Casey. And the first question is, how did you build your database?
So for me, I was newer to St. Louis, had just come back to Missouri. So it was really about getting in front of people. So going into fall and winter last year, everybody in my office was, still wrapping up busy work. And I was actively joining every gym class I could think of. I was joining, I joined a volleyball league. I just got in front of people the best I could to start building networks and database people.
How many names do you have in your database?
626.
Oh, wow. That's great. Okay, Lisa Veit.
So I started, I actually have a little side business where I do monogrammed items. So I had a database that was pretty good. And then I added to that with open houses, pretty much anybody I could get an email from. My big thing was I did a lot of farming in the subdivision that I lived in. And Deb was really pushed me on that. Spent a little more money in the beginning maybe than I thought, but believe me, it paid off. So I have 635 in my database.
Awesome. Okay, Ashley.
Yeah. So mine's a little bit different. I am very active in my church group at my church, and I go to a church about 4,000 people. And so my database and my SOI is really my church group, and I don't go to church to sell real estate, but it was something I already was a part of before. And so my database is really that. And how many people I have in my database, I don't have everybody in my website, but I would say the contacts that I continue to reach out to with mailings and things like that is close to 1,000.
Oh, awesome. Hey, Josh.
Yeah, so how I build my database, what I was always told when we first started was, a great place to start with your database is everybody you would invite to your wedding, which I'm going through right now. I'm being recently engaged, it's great for me to be able to that's a great excuse to get people's addresses, emails, all that kind of stuff. I have a little over 300 in my database that I actively reach out to and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the best way to start that for me was, all the people that you would invite to your wedding. And that's how I really got it started.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, Lisa.
Actually, mine's the same as Josh. So fortunately, I married into a very large family. So when we got married 4 years ago, I just used our invite list and then started importing that into the back of our website. So At this point, though, I've added on to it. I do coach volleyball, so that's another revenue for me in regards of, being able to bring in some of the parents that I coach their kids. So I don't know, I probably have somewhere between 700 and 800 in my database.
Wow, good. Okay, Joy?
I'm a little bit different, I think, because I worked in the industry since college. So for me, when I first started, building my database was tough because my friends, were realtors. They were title people. So for me, when I first started, it was a little bit different as far as getting my database built. I would say I have about 300, probably, and 20 people in there. In fact, when I got the list from you, Maryann, of our questions, I'm like, I need to work on this. So thank you. But I think for me, what ended up happening was I use a lot of my neighbors is kind of how I got started, my neighborhood. Like Lisa was saying, I farmed it at the time. I was doing postcards and just different things like that.
Okay, awesome. Love it. Mark, welcome. Mark, do you want to introduce yourself and tell them which office?
Sure. Sorry that I'm late, guys. Hi, I'm Mark Kim. I'm out of the Town and Country office. Started
You've
July
been
of last year.
licensed how long, Mark?
July of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So welcome. So the first
you.
two questions, Mark, were how did you build your database and how many names do you have in your database?
Yeah. So I am not from Missouri. So I moved here from the East Coast, but my wife happens to be from here. And part of the reason why we moved back is to be close to the family. So I've really relied upon my wife's, sphere basically, and her extended family and friends and relationships through that. And then also we have our studio business, our dance business, which has gotten me a few referrals also and helped build my database. But yeah, I mean, not having kind of relatives or a lot of time here to build those relationships, it was kind of hard in the start. And so I had to kind of go out and seek those on my own. So I probably have between 400 and 500 people in my database right now.
That's great.
So, and again, I don't know how much of a sphere of influence that really is, but I tried to make as many relationships as I could since I moved here.
Okay, Lisa, you mentioned farming. Do the rest of you do farming? No.
Yes, I do.
No.
So actually we send out, because so my teammate is Lindsay, and we live in basically the same subdivision. And so we send out every other month, we send out with USA Mortgage flyer or postcards every other month to our neighborhoods. And that reaches about, because we're like subdivision to subdivision, but we're like, Lindsay and I are like 5 minutes apart. And so we send out about 600 flyers every other month.
So Lisa, you mentioned that it took a while for you to get some results.
Mhm.
How long's a while? Because you've only been licensed a short time. So the while might have seemed not so long.
I probably, if I tell you, you're gonna laugh, but I think my first result was after 6 months, and it was when I did the ice cream truck, and I had the ice cream truck come to the subdivision. I had somebody talk to me. They had listed twice for sale by owner. Could I list it the next day because they were trying to buy a house and they had to have it with a real estate agent? She was a photographer. She gave me her pictures. We listed it and it sold the first showing. So the ice cream truck that I was panicking about that cost $700 was the best investment I ever did. So the thing I do with farming is our subdivision has a pool and a clubhouse. I print the newsletter that somebody else prepares every quarter, and I put in a scorecard and a goodie sometimes. And then I walk all 440 houses. And the reason I walk all 440 is because then I see who's working on their house, who's potentially getting ready to sell it. I want to be the expert of the subdivision, and that's the best way to do that. So.
That's
I
awesome.
definitely, and then I go to the pool, I do pool, I bring snacks when we have bands and stuff at the pool. And then I also, try to do other events if they let me participate in whatever, so.
So Lisa, did you do a study of your subdivision before you decided to
Yes.
farm it to see if there was
Yes.
anyone else?
Yep.
Great.
And there was another agent, she had moved out of the subdivision and she still is involved in that subdivision. And there's a couple agents that live in the subdivision, but they do not want to do any of the work with the newsletter because it is a lot of work and it takes me a while to make all the copies. But that's the thing, you're not going to reap the benefits if you don't do the work. So.
Right. Well, so that's a great segue to my next question, which is, have you ever done an event yourself? And if so, what was the event and how did you market it?
Mhm.
So you talked about the ice cream truck and.
Yep. I do the ice cream truck. I do, like I said, if we bring bands in for the pool, I've asked if I can set up a table with snacks. It usually costs me less than $50 and the band will advertise me a couple times. I walk around the pool, meet people, get leads. The other things I do when they have events at the clubhouse before COVID, I would go up and help with the Christmas event. And what I did last year is I actually bought this crazy outfit that had a tutu and I don't even know what I was supposed to be, but anyway, they loved it and they had me in all the pictures with the kids with Santa. So I try to be creative. I have done stuff too that's been a flop. So when COVID hit, I was going to try to do a virtual talent show and nobody signed up. But that's okay. I mean, it still was something I tried to do. So I'm willing, if they'll let me, usually if I bribe with food, they'll let me participate in whatever. So I do that and yeah. And it isn't always necessarily even a house that's selling in the subdivision. I've even gotten referrals for other subdivisions. So you don't necessarily know where it's going to lead, but it's beneficial.
Yeah, that's great. Ashley.
So we were planning a big event for April and it got canceled because of COVID. But we were going to do come and meet the team at the park. We were going to have bounce houses and hot dogs and hamburgers and all of that. And so we marketed it and we did everything for it. And then we had to go and cancel it. But kind of how we did our marketing is we sent everything out to our SOIs. We sent everything through the back of our website. We did our Facebook marketing. We do lots of videos. That's something that I do a lot of. I feel like that's just, if I can't be in front of their face, they can at least see me. And so we do a lot of videos. We send a lot of videos out. I do a lot of text message videos too, like, hey, I'm driving, but hey, how are you today? So, but we sent out postcards and everything to everybody we knew. Between my team and I, yeah, like I said, we have about 1,000 people that we try to keep in contact with. But we're hoping that we can do maybe something. We're in the beginnings of doing something maybe with Santa for Christmas, but we're not really sure how that's going to work with COVID and what that really looks like. But somehow maybe do photos with Santa virtual. We don't know. We're still working it out.
Yeah, well, that's great. Yeah. Thank you. Casey.
I haven't had any big events yet. I did start doing the Socktober thing. It's a charity that I participate in every year. Collect socks. It's the number one, or it's the number one item that's needed in shelters for kids in poverty. So I've been marketing that quite a bit, and I actually got a lead off that where I've been talking to someone's wanting to sell their house. But that has been the closest thing to an event I've had so far, just raising socks. So that's been fun, but that's all I've done thus far.
Yeah. Do you pick the socks up or do they drop them off?
I go around and pick them up. So I've had a few partner companies that let it be locations for drop off, but if someone messages me, I tell them I'm obviously willing to pick them up. I took a couple people out to lunch and collected socks. So it's been a fun thing.
Great idea. Lisa.
I haven't done any events myself. Actually, Julie, Colleen, and I were planning on doing some this year, but it got canceled, obviously, because of COVID. But I have been pretty active when it comes to sponsoring different events. So when it comes to some people do like or the trunk or treats or whatever. So I've done that before. And then also like bingo nights and also like trivia nights. So like I'll sponsor a round. And obviously I have some stuff that's out on the table for those people that are there. So typically though, that's always like family and friends who are reaching out to me to do that. Or like St. Charles has like a glow bowl. So like you go and do bowling, but it's all glow in the dark. So like I help sponsor that. So nothing that I've actually put on, but I try to at least be in the community for other events that people are holding.
Yeah, that's great. Great. Josh.
Yeah, I've never done an event either. I guess the closest thing that I have to something like this is we recently got a trailer that I am in the process of getting my logo and number and email and everything like that and website put on it. Because I've seen agents do like they'll buy a moving truck and have that branded towards themselves, and I think that was a great idea. A moving truck is just a little out of my budget, so I think the next thing is a trailer. So yeah, I think that's kind of my closest thing that I have to that, as far as branding and allowing people to use that and stuff. And there's a little less liability that goes along with the trailer than with a moving truck as well. So yeah, that's probably the closest thing that I have to that.
So who found the trailer, Josh? You or your dad?
My dad found it. It was something we both talked about for sure. But he found a good one. So
yeah,
and I found the branding for it. So
that's great. So I have a feeling you'll be doing a lot of moving with that trailer.
A lot, yes. It's already started.
Yeah. Joy.
I haven't done any events individually, and what I more do is like participate for other events. Our subdivision, 2 times a year they have well, I shouldn't say 2 times a year because they didn't have one this year, but last year they had like a back to school thing. The subdivision, they already had the ice cream truck, they had everything. So we actually did I did a giveaway, and then we also did like what do they call the water balloon contest for kids anyways, where they were just throwing water balloons at their parents, and that was actually pretty successful. And I've had clients reach out to me, hey, can you sponsor different things? I actually have one client that they're a soccer team, and I've gotten quite a few referrals from them, and I do their the drinks all soccer season long. So I know that sounds silly, but every time they're like, oh, it's the drink lady who sells homes, like the little kids. So little things like that. I'd love to do a big event, myself or at some point. And also I think just participating in whatever our office does and reaching out to my SOI to bring them in, because then they feel like, oh, it's Joy and Berkshire's event, if that makes sense. So I just kind of ride the coattails of that.
Yeah, that's great. So do you put labels on your water bottles, or?
I do not. At first I was, and then to be honest, they throw them away. Like it's not, I just think me showing up, bringing, one week I couldn't actually go and bring like the drinks. And my client who's become my friend, she actually said to me, she was like, oh yeah, everybody was like, who brought the drinks this week? Was it the real estate lady? So it was kind of cute. And then I realized too at that moment that we do need to always show up, which I know we're taught that, but so yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mark.
So no events yet. I did actually have a few planned, but COVID obviously changed things. Some of the ideas, again, utilizing our studio, we were going to have like a Santa photo op kind of thing at the studio. The studio is going to be a great venue for me for future events, but we were going to do like I was going to do stuff that's associated with my brand, which are dogs. And so like pet photo events. I was going to have a dog or a pet pool party, dog days of summer type of thing. I was going to do the ice cream truck too during the summer also. It seems like my farm area happens to be right next to Town and Country office. So I walk there kind of frequently, and they have like community centers, or they have an area where the community can get together and do events there for like the ice cream truck idea and stuff like that for my farm area. But I'm hoping to do at least 3 or 4 events next year, depending again how COVID kind of affects us. But yeah, I'm just excited to get that started once we our new normal.
That's awesome. Great ideas. So next question is, what is your favorite company tool and why? And I'll start with Ashley. You're muted, Ashley.
Thanks. I love the website. I just haven't taken as much time to put everything in there. I got busier with my business quicker than I expected. And so I just haven't had a lot of time. But I also, I mean, for every listing I go to, everywhere I use collateral analytics. So it took me a while to figure out collateral because it was a little bit different than what the agent I worked with before used. But every listing I go to is collateral, and my clients seem to like it too with the graphs and everything. It seems like it's very like they understand it a little bit better than if I just brought a bunch of numbers to them. So I think collateral is probably my favorite.
Yeah, interesting. Lisa.
I would say I love buy side, and I am a big fan of if I see a house for sale by owner, or if on my subdivision I'm in now, I saw somebody with a moving truck kind of cleaning up, I drop off a real estate review, which includes buy side. And I actually had a house a week ago that had an accepted contract, and I actually got it as a for sale by owner, and it was $388,000. So
it's awesome. Casey.
I do like the reviews that buy side print out. I think that they look nice. So I love using those. I'm going to piggyback right off what Lisa said. And I'm just now getting to like our CRM, like our back system, because at first I was like, my brain doesn't work in this way. So I was trying to make it my own. I was like, this is a mess. So I started playing with the system. And I'm like, oh, this is more organized than I thought I was. So I'm still working on it, but I really love that it organizes the 1,000 thoughts that go through my head every day. So I'm growing to love that one.
Good. Awesome. Lisa.
I use buy side all the time. So I'm a very firm believer in the Ninja. And so I have like a whole list of people that I send real estate reviews out to every week. And that is probably the biggest, like, I know it's not a selling point at that time, but that's probably the biggest selling point for sending those out, is because they do aesthetically look very nice and clean, and people can understand, what the actual information is that I'm giving them. But I also use my CRM constantly. So I'm always in there updating and adding new people or taking people out, whatever it may be. So I do use my CRM all the time. The other thing that I like about the CRM is with the open houses, the virtual like login, because then it just puts it into your CRM. You don't have to worry about going back through and adding them again or whatever, on the back end, it's already there. So I use that all the time too.
It's great. Joy.
My favorite thing is, sorry, Amanda just walked by, so blame her for
we
distracting
knew it wasn't
me.
Rick.
I'll be honest, I love Agent Icon. I use it for so many things. I think it's great for open houses. It's great just for new listings. So I love to just throw something out on social media with Agent Icon, but I'm kind of just gonna basically repeat what everyone else said. I love buy side. It's so clean. It's so professional. It's easy to use. I think it's very consumer friendly too. We can present it to them, explain different things. Out of everything I bring, like for anything, whether it's a real estate review, a listing presentation, anything, that form, I feel like people read it, comprehend it. And I just think it's very consumer easy to understand, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So do you all put your buyers in buy side?
Yes.
Or in your CRM, actually, which feeds to buy side?
I do my CRM.
I'll be honest, I'm working on that.
I was gonna say, Joy, you froze there for a minute.
Well, at first you said buy side, and I'm like,
Yeah,
wait,
right,
let's
no.
put it in our CRM and it filters through. Yeah, no,
Right,
that's what
that
I
was
thought.
my
But like I
mistake.
said, I know my weakness.
I'm kind of with you, Joy. It's okay.
Yeah. Mark.
I mean, I'll parrot everybody else here. Buy side definitely is one of my favorites, but I think because I'm such a process person, I think Sky Slope is probably my favorite. Kind of not very sexy answer, but just being able to get all that done digitally, and there's obviously a little bit of improvement or anything can be approved, but just having an ability to kind of manage all of the different documents and everything is obviously very helpful.
Do you use the task in SkySoap, Mark?
I don't.
Does
We do.
anyone?
We do. We have our own, we created all of our own, but yeah, we use it for everything.
I was going to say, Julie Colleen, I'll be honest, I didn't realize that we had that in there. And one day she was like, girl, put these reminders in there. So I love it because I get an email. I mean, I'm OCD anyways with things, but it's almost like it makes me feel better to get another reminder,
Yeah.
It's really nice if you utilize it.
Yeah.
Well,
I should
Jessica
definitely
has
look
it
into it.
set up that the task, you can, there are some, tasks that are already there that you can use, but Ashley, you probably, I think you just said it, you customized it even
We did.
more.
We
So-
did. Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you go into SkySlope, I think Jessica had asked Lindsay and I to make it public. So I think that anybody can, it's just the KB task, but I think it's public for anybody to use when you import your tasks. But yeah, it starts all the way from the beginning to the end of the process. So it ends with, a reminder to put into our CRM to remind us in a year to contact them with their home anniversary. So it's all the way from, the very beginning of making sure they are in the CRM, making sure that they are there, all the way to the end of closing out the deal to our on the company side and the mayor side. And so, and then actually the very last one is we send out every subdivision that we close in, we will pick 20 to 25 houses in that subdivision every time we close a deal and send a real estate review. We do the postcards that our company does, that just listed, just sold, but just another, those 25 houses get additional information. And that's when we use buy side. We use buy side for our real estate reviews. And then collateral for our listings. And I don't put, I know you probably thought that was a little weird when you use collateral, but I don't use every single sheet. I pull out what I think is important. But for our listings, we do that for the real estate. But yeah, that's all in our tasks. So we don't, and it emails us every time we don't do it, say, hey, do this. So, but yeah, we customize ours a little bit more into what fits our team and what fits our needs. And I know Jessica asked us to make it public. So I think it's there if you guys wanted to look at it.
That's great. Thank you. Mark, you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I think one of the things, and this is probably just me not being very smart, but I just finally, created templates for everything. And I should have done that a long, long time ago instead of hand filling out fields for DigiSign. I mean, I think everyone should just, one of the things Jessica should do is teach everybody how to utilize those templates, because once you do it once and then you get that out of the way, you don't have to worry about every time you need to fill out an offer to go, and it's going to save you a lot of time eventually. So I did that just recently for every one of the different important documents that we run across frequently, and it saved me a ton of time. And it corrects errors too, or minimizes errors, because if you have the template right, then you'll always have it filled out correctly. So something I wish I did earlier. So me being a mentor at Town and Country, it's one of the first things I make all of the new mentees do.
So what would they have the template?
For offers, like when you have to fill out who signs what, you can pre-populate all that and not have to put in like full name field, signature field for every areas within the contract, and even the buyer agency, electronics, disclosures, all that stuff you can pre-populate into a template where you don't have to create that document for every new transaction. It'll just pre-populate for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
A lot of time.
Great idea. I'm making note of that, Mark.
Well, I'm saying I've learned this kind of relatively recently. I wish I had this up front, because I had to, every time there was something that needed to be done that had to be digitally signed, I had to recreate that form every time. So it just helped when I had a template in place.
Josh. Thanks,
Yeah,
Mark.
so everyone kind of stole my answer. I love buy side. Buy side is awesome. But I will say too, the other thing that I like the best and that I use the most are my buyer and seller booklets that I've made through the resource center. Picking apart the seller presentations and the buyer presentations that are on the resource center, and then working with Kate to make it into like a branded booklet towards myself that has extra information about myself, a letter from me, and stuff like that. I think those are my favorite tool to use. People love those, and they have like a little real estate lingo part of it too, where that people love to like look up what everything means, what I'm saying, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, those I think are the best because it just builds more trust and stuff between myself and my buyers and my sellers too. Those are the other things that I like.
Yeah, awesome.
That's awesome.
Great ideas, guys. Thank you. So I know that Ashley did some transaction coordinating before. I don't know, but do you use no?
No, and that's, maybe if we get busy enough, we would, but right now, like because we use task and size slope, that really just keeps us on track. And we didn't feel the need to necessarily have one, but yeah, I mean, and that's what I did for, an agent before I came here who, closed 25 plus deals a month. So that's what I did, was transaction coordinating before I became an agent. And so it'd be weird for me to give it up. I don't know, because I'm so particular about things that it'd be weird to be like, hey, do my work. Are you doing it how I would? But yeah, and I did some for the office too. It doesn't seem like the agents here in Jefferson County really necessarily need it at this time. But it's not something that I'm against in the future using if I feel like I'm getting where I'm not giving my clients that 5-star that I want to give them.
Right. Joy.
I do not use a transaction coordinator. I feel like I'm a little bit of a control freak where I love to know what's going on. And it would be really tough for me. I actually would feel bad for my transaction coordinator because I think I would be really tough on them. But yeah, right now I don't feel like I have a need to. But even when I do get to that point, it's definitely going to be hard for me to transition and let go of that.
Lisa.
I think I am not at this point. I would definitely do it if I have enough volume, but at this point I'm still able to do all of it myself.
Who does use a transaction coordinator? Josh?
So yeah, I guess I'm the only one. I do use a transaction coordinator. And I guess I'm the opposite of a control freak. Maybe that's a bad thing, but like if you're telling me that I can have someone handle the little stuff for me that I am just bad at or miss and skip over, and I have more time to work with, other people and buyers and prospect and all that kind of stuff, I'll take that every time. But it's yeah, because I work with a lot of buyers and a lot of first-time home buyers, because just being the age that I am, I have a lot of friends that are looking for their first house, and it is tough out there. So I mean, I'm showing houses almost every day, and it's busy. And so yeah, to be able to hand that off to someone else and not being a control freak myself and trusting them to take care of it for me is a big bonus for me, and I appreciate it.
Your transaction coordinator, Josh, how much does he or she charge?
So it varies by how much the transaction is. It goes up. I think it's, starts around $200 a transaction and then as you go up $300-$400, per price. But yeah.
Who do you use?
Dawn Winkler out of our Northwest office.
Oh, okay.
She's awesome. She actually, I think a lot of people in our Northwest office use her as a transaction coordinator.
So no one else has a transaction coordinator? Just thinking about it. Okay, so how are you using social media to market yourself? Who wants to start? Lisa?
So that is probably one of my weak areas. I am not as good about posting things on social media. I am definitely trying to, do that and do fun stuff as well. I follow Joy and I see all the things she does and I'm like, I need to do this better. So yeah, that's definitely a place I have room for improvement.
Okay, Casey.
So I post my successes. I agree I'm not the best at it, but I feel I'm recently engaged as well, and I feel like I exploit that. So so when anything about like engagement photos and stuff comes up and people comment, I definitely connect. So I'm not above exploiting my future wedding for that. So I do that sometimes. But just any way to get in front of people, I try to do. This October thing I do on social media, closings I do on social media. During quarantine, I made a 6-foot ruler into a sold sign. And so I had photos taken 6 feet apart as a sold sign. So I marketed that on social media quite a bit, just as a little funny jab. So that was fun.
That's great. Lisa.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. So I use social media. I use Facebook and Instagram probably the most. And I would say, yeah, I probably use it more for success stories than anything. I'm not a very I don't let my personal life out there a lot just because I feel like sometimes that can get you in trouble. So I don't know. I don't use it probably the most that I should, or I'm not consistent with it. Let's put it that way. But I definitely do use it in regards of like coming soons or when they do hit the market. If I have buyers who are looking and I can't find a house for them, then that's kind of where I go to. But I also use social media kind of as like a spy on the back end, right? So like I said, I do my ninja stuff. And if I ever see anybody who's going through, the pleasure or the pain, then that's my time to reach out to them. So I guess I don't really use it for myself, putting myself out there and my business out there necessarily, but I do use it to kind of keep up with people and what they're doing in their lives.
Yeah, that's great. Lisa, can you expound a little more on that pleasure and pain, and do you then send them a handwritten note?
Yeah. Yep. I try to, so obviously with the Ninja, you are trying to send out 10 note cards a week. And sometimes it's difficult because you interact on a day-to-day basis with the same people. And so it's difficult to kind of go outside that realm and pick people who maybe you haven't seen in a while. So I don't know, like you guys keep talking about being engaged and stuff like that. Like I would reach out to that person and maybe send them like a gift card and say, something about how stressful wedding planning is, but take some time out for yourself and, go out to eat and enjoy it. Or, if somebody has a death in the family, then obviously I'm not like putting my business card in there or anything like that, but I'm definitely reaching out to them or their family and just letting them know that I'm thinking about them, praying for them. Job promotions, or if somebody's maybe got a job in a different state and they're leaving or moving to a different state, that's a great opportunity to try to kind of get your foot in the door, but also be there for them, to say congratulations and good luck type of thing. So
yeah, that's fabulous. Thank you. Mark.
So I definitely don't do as much as I should. Also, it's really easy for me. If you go to my Instagram, it's all dogs dancing and dogs dancing. So yeah. So I incorporate. We have 6 dogs ourselves here, 8 dogs in the house. So there's a lot of material there. But I definitely should do more for sure. But just sometimes, I feel like just because of what's been going on with like politics and everything, I've been off of social media a little bit purposely. And so I think that's kind of, slowed down my frequency, but I definitely know and understand the importance of it for sure.
Yeah, I love the one, Mark, that you were chasing, or the dog was chasing you around the yard. That was a good one.
They all like to chase.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Gosh.
Yep.
Josh?
So yeah, I also don't use social media as much as I should. I'm lucky to have a fiance who loves social media and will post everything on it. So I have her get on my business accounts and post stuff that we're doing and stuff like that. And and the thing is, I do get a lot of response to my social media, especially stories on my Instagram and on my Facebook. I get a lot of responses to those. So, that's probably telling me that I should be more active in it. But we just went through the process of, renovating our house and everything like that. And so people love to swipe up and just, comment on how we were doing, or if I happen to be showing like a house that I think is really cool, I'll snap a picture of something and post it on there. And I get a lot of feedback from those. But I know that I definitely should do it more often than I do. I just have never been a big social media person. It's just not who I ever was. So it's an adjustment for me to try and put myself out there on it. And it's a goal of mine. So something I'm working on for sure.
Yeah, well, thank goodness for Sarah, right?
Right.
Joy?
I use social media a lot. And like I said, when I got started, my SOI, my best friend was a realtor. You know what I mean? Just being in the industry for so long, I had to do something a little bit different, I felt like. So I utilize social media a lot. I do feel like I just by nature, am just kind of like a happy person. Like I'm a weirdo. I like wake up and I'm like, hey, and so I try to keep everything positive. And I'll be honest, it's funny. Like I utilize my dog a little bit. I'm not near as like fancy as you guys are, but like I call him the boss. So a lot of times I'll be like, brought the boss to work. Just different things like that. And I'll tell you what, I have gotten so much response from people saying, I feel like I'm just reminding them, hey guys, I'm in real estate, I can help you find your next home. And social media, it's been kind of easy. And I have a 20-year-old. So to be honest, not really Facebook, but he's Instagram, Snapchat, all of that. In fact, we are going to start TikToking, whatever. He's going to help me with that and kind of try to bring the real estate brand into TikTok as well. And it's just, like I said, it's a way that I found has been very easy for me to reach out to people. And I have absolutely gotten business from, sounds so silly, but posting a Facebook, something on Facebook. And like Josh said, I didn't even realize how much people actually watch the stories. I feel like they almost do that more than even scrolling through a page. My son taught me that. So I've been trying to do more on my stories even than anything,
That's great. Ashley?
Yeah, social media is our business. That's what we do. Everything we do is on social media. Our social media is pretty streamlined. Lindsay, my business partner, she's a little bit more obsessed with it than I am, but she's really, really good at it. But yeah, we post everything. We post, coming soon, we post just sold, we post under contract, we post back on the markets, we post literally everything. And then there we also use, the Berkshire Hathaway where they automatically put the blog post. I think that's Resmo Media.
Riz Media.
Yeah, Riz Media. And then so we use that. And as a team, we get to do it 2 days a week free. And so we have that going out Sunday and Mondays. And then we don't post a ton to our personal page. We'll share from our business page to our personal pages, but everything that we do is on our business page, which, on Instagram. So what's really cool, I know some people don't like it, but if you post to Instagram, it'll automatically post to your Facebook. And so you're hitting two different markets, because I have a lot of friends that are only on Instagram and a lot of friends that are only on Facebook. A lot of my younger friends are more on the Instagram, where like the older generation's more hanging out on the Facebook level. It's a little bit more to understand.
I hate to ask what you consider older generation, okay?
Okay. But so we everything. One of the things I forgot to mention when we were talking about our events, I guess we did more of a virtual event. We did every Thursday in the month of August, we did a virtual lunch and learn from 12 to 1. And we brought in a lender, we brought in a past client, we talked about ourselves, and we brought in Marie. And so we just talked, that's something that we did, and that's all on social media, and people seem to like that. But I know that a lot of I know we use a lot of success, but I have a lot of people that say, hey, you had a great week this week in real estate. So I know that people are paying attention, especially if I go to church, they go, oh, I saw you sold so-and-so's house. Or this one's under contract. Did you guys get a lot of offers? So I know people are watching it. They may not be interacting as much as we would like them to be, but I know people are at least watching it and seeing it, because when they see you face to face, they say something about it. But yeah, we do a lot of videos. There's something posted almost every day, if not for sure every other day.
So Ashley, you just mentioned again, and I know you mentioned it earlier about the videos. So can you give us an example of what your videos might consist of?
Yeah, we did one this week. Lindsay and I, at the beginning of the year, when you do your business planning, we had a goal of 25 deals this year. And so once we hit that goal, we celebrated with everybody that helped us succeed that. And so just like that was an example, hey, that's a video we did, just saying, hey, we met our goal. We're so excited. We're thankful for you guys and the support and love that you guys have poured into our business this year, because it's our first year together as a team. And so that's just a video. And that was just getting in front of their faces. And then, I did get a couple text messages, hey, congratulations on your goal. That's awesome. And so we did that. And then a lot with COVID, we did, that's video, those virtual lunch and learns. We talked about the market, how it didn't stop, it kept moving. We did, Matt at South County is really good at pulling those statistics for us. And so we would even get online and just start talking about those statistics. So it's not something that we plan always, but it's something that we're like, oh, hey, we need to get in front of them video wise. And so we've done just a video with, when the Super Bowl hit, we did a video with Marie because she's funny and people like her. And so we just do different things that are also silly to get people interacting. And so
do you do a Facebook Live on your open houses?
We do. Yeah. So we always, during COVID, we got really creative on the open houses and doing, video walkthroughs on those with, Lindsay and I walking through the house and giving a tour, like if we were showing the home. But we always go at least live saying, hey, we're at, 2304 The Woods tonight. We're here from 5 to 7. We'd love for you to stop by. We always promote video, and then we always have a photo. And so we're very, and for social media, it takes a little bit to get your templates, but once you get your templates set up, you want to keep that, it's easy for us to just go change a photo and change a little bit of information. But if you look at our Facebook, it's pretty streamlined, and everything is branded to us. Everything's pretty, our open houses look the exact same. Our under contracts look the exact same. Everything is just exactly the same. And it just gives it that clean, slick look, oh, they do know what they're doing,
Yeah.
So, we're really big on our social media, and I feel like that's our generation. That's our SOI. That's who we reach out to. I think that's probably a little bit more effective for us than sending emails to our clients. And then, like I said, I do, as far as, our phones, text messaging, I feel like is a little bit of a social media too, is the fact that I can always text them, and I do video text and things like that. So.
Yeah, you're getting me excited about the social media.
Have you looked at our social media before?
Yes.
We love it.
I know that Lisa Foss said that she practiced the Ninja 9, and some of you have not had the opportunity to attend yet, but of course you probably know about Ninja 9. So anybody want to talk about how they use Ninja 9?
I haven't got to go to one of the ninja trainings yet, but I read the book. I think a lot of it's really useful. I unknowingly, before I got the book, was doing some of it anyway, but it kind of hit harder when it was your warm list every day and your hot list, making sure you're touching those people every day in some way, shape, or form. Gratitudes. I always did that in general. I do a daily devotional, and that kind of comes with it. So that is something that I really hit home on once I realized that was in the Ninja too. And a big one for me that I think is huge is 50 live contacts per week. That is a big deal. And I think it's very I think it helps a lot to get in front of people and actually have those live contacts. I mean, there's something to be said for text messages. There's something to be said for phone calls, but being live with a person, that's kind of irreplaceable. So being able to get in front of people and doing that every week is a huge goal of mine that I try to shoot for.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anyone else?
I mean,
Oh,
I
come on.
definitely, yeah. I mean, I do the daily gratitude as well. I do my morning devotionals and I just, and I mean, if you watch Lindsay and I's, we kind of cross into a little bit of what we believe because we're firm believers on the Lord. And so a lot of we glorify him in what we do. And so we talk about that a little bit in our social media. And I don't think that hurts us necessarily, especially because of our sphere. Like our sphere wants to see that we're doing it and doing it for the Lord and not doing it for ourselves. And we strive on being honest and true. And so I think a daily gratitude is really something I focus on. And every once in a while we'll post something about like something we're thankful for on our Facebook page. And we get people saying things about that too. I don't do the personal notes as well as I should, but I do the text messages and I'm very big on that. Like I'm contacting people all the time through my phone. And that's part of me just having 2 kids in my home under the age of 2. I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of the things that I want to do. And I do a million jobs. So I just sometimes don't have time to do that. But I think for sure that we definitely on average send out our weekly real estate reviews. That's something that I know Ninja 9 does and says we should do too, but I don't necessarily do 2 every week, but there's some weeks we do 20 of them. So I think it kind of equals out. I need to get better at working on Ninja 9. Like I said, I haven't got to go to one of those classes either or go to Ninja 9, but something I want to do because I want to be able to get focused on. But one thing I do is show up to work. I'm here all the time in the office. It's like my second house.
Back here in February, so keep that in mind. You'll all get an opportunity.
Okay.
Joy, what about you?
Yeah, I think being in this office as a title girl for a few years before I even came in here, everything is like ninja. So it was really easy to transition and do those things. Like you were saying, daily gratitude. I have a daily devotional I do anyways. I think the cards, I will tell you, I am a big texter. I like to just get it done quickly. Let's knock it out. When I do the handwritten note cards, I will tell you, it's funny because I will get like a text message of someone being like, oh man, that was so sweet. Like, because the cards are, sometimes it's like Lisa was saying, even like on social media, we'll go in and find different things people are going through. But sometimes I'm just like, I got to get my cards in because I know Rick's going to yell at me if I don't, which I'm thankful for that. But I'm like, sometimes it's just like, hey buddy, was thinking about you. Hope you're doing great. Here's, I mean, we don't always like have to give some money, but I'm big on like just the little $5 Starbucks gift cards you can send people. And you can even actually put your logo on those. I love doing that, but sorry, Ninja 9. Yeah, I love it. I do use it. I think my biggest, I'm looking at it right now. I wrote it down just to be prepared, but I remember my first real estate review. Rick was, had me do, and I thought, this is so awkward. I'm sending people information and you know what I mean? I don't even know if they know I'm a realtor yet, but I just get great feedback from the real estate reviews. And hot list, warm list. It's just nice to have that little checklist to keep us all on track.
Yeah, that's awesome. Lisa?
I think it's the note cards. I love the note cards. When COVID hit, I sent out fun ones that look like pineapples and just cheer people up. And I've had a lot of success with that. I do a lot of anniversary, a lot of sympathy. Just a way to stay in touch.
But the other Lisa?
I'm sorry.
No. First Lisa to speak.
I know we need L1 and L2, huh? I'm just a very big, firm believer in it. I feel like it hits a lot of aspects for real estate, and not only for yourself, but also for your clients or potential clients or just friends and family. So when you talk about like the devotionals or even writing down your goals, or taking a look at your goals every once in a while, how often, do you need to look at those to make sure that you're hitting them? And I feel like the warm list, the hot list, obviously your pending and all that stuff, it just kind of puts it in your face as to say, okay, what else can I do today or this week to make sure that I am staying on track? Like Joy said, Rick does give us crap sometimes if we don't get our stuff done, but it's nice to have somebody there who's holding you accountable. And especially, let's put it this way, like for me, being in real estate, I didn't start with this company. There was not anything at the other company that they gave me to say, hey, this is how you need to build your database, or this is how you need to kind of move forward, right? So obviously I knew something was wrong. And when I got here, I had already read the Ninja book, but the fact that you guys actually put it into play and could teach me that, like, hey, you stick to this, you'll be able to grow your business. And that's exactly what it's done for me. So I don't see it necessarily as a benefit to me, right? Like I see it as a benefit to my clients. If I can continuously either be in front of them face to face, send them a handwritten note, give them a real estate review once a year, it at least shows them that I am in this business, right? They can come to me if they have any questions, if they need a referral for anything that they're doing to their house, how the market is around them. And then it just gets them asking questions. So that's the best part about it. I mean, your 50 contacts that you have to have a week, then it just becomes second nature and it becomes easy, So like I said, I'm a very big firm believer in it, and I think it does work, but it's hard work. You got to make sure that you're actually getting up every day and showing up and doing it.
Right. Rick will be proud of you guys. Mark?
So I've read the book, but haven't taken any of the classes. I am, like everybody else here, I'm a huge believer in the handwritten cards, something that I have intentionally taken time out of my day to make sure that I'm doing daily because of just the feedback and response. I guarantee I've won clients just because, in fact, I've had a couple listings tell me, because I delivered, and I do this all the time for listings, I will either deliver a handwritten card with compare a CMA the night before, and I'll leave the note and it'll say, hey, just wanted to have you to take a look at this. We'll review it together. If you have any questions, it'll give you time to kind of formulate those. And then and I'll leave like a little potted flower for them with that, with the handwritten card. Or if I can't do that beforehand, I will make sure to deliver a handwritten card the next day, just thanking them. And there's been a handful of times that people have canceled on other agents just because I did that.
Wow.
Or that's what actually they said, because I'll ask every one of my clients why they picked me versus if I'm in a competition. And the handwritten card was something that set me apart a few times that clients have mentioned that stood me apart. So I know for a fact that they are very helpful. And in this day and age with digital and everything, anything that's analog and handwritten just stands out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great. Josh?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that the Ninja 9 does for me is it keeps me on track throughout the day. It's writing out that warm list and hot list. Who do I need to hit today? Who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to reach out to? I'm not as good with the handwritten cards as I probably should be. It's just, I have a hard time just getting those done, finding people to send them to and not coming across as weird, because people just don't send handwritten cards as much anymore, which is probably a reason why I should do it. I just, have a hard time doing that.
Josh, that's what you have Sarah for too.
True. Her handwriting's probably a little better than mine too. So, but then the big thing that I do is those live, interviews, or, talking to people and getting in front of people. That's my biggest thing. Is every, I'm very involved. Like I whether it's a softball league, coaching baseball, a baseball league, or playing golf, or, just getting out and seeing people is my biggest thing. And I, everything that we're invited to, I drag Sarah along with me and say, hey, we got to go to this. We got to go to this. I just try and get in front of as many people as possible, because people love to ask about real estate. No matter what the function is real estate always somehow comes up, and they love to talk to me about it. So that's why I try to just go to and see as many people as I can. And I know it's been a little tougher, during COVID and everything, but I've even had like, set up Zoom parties with friends and stuff like that where we, play a bunch of drinking games over Zoom with each other. So yeah, anything that I can do like that is what I try to do most.
Yeah, that's great. You guys are fabulous. And I want to end on, I'm going to give you each an opportunity to tell me what advice you would give a brand new agent today. Lisa, I'll start with you.
So I think the thing I hear from agents a lot is, well, I don't know anybody. I don't, there's always excuses. And I think the thing is, you can farm any subdivision. You can figure out ways to meet people. I think the thing is, you have to view this as a business and you have to not have excuses.
It's great. Casey.
Mine would be, exactly what Josh said, get in front of people. It can be a lot of overwhelming to-dos when you're a new agent. Like all these things are the things, the list to do, but to start anything out, to even get your business going, you got to get in front of people, let them know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. How about the other Lisa?
I would say two things. So the first thing I would say is get your processes and procedures in place. Obviously, when you get into the business, it's not comfortable. It's a very uncomfortable situation. You're talking about things that you haven't even experienced yet, right? So practice that, get your procedures in place, because when that phone call happens, you need to know what your next steps are. And then the other thing is just jump. Fear is a big thing, but just jump into it, open arms, and try to soak in as much as you can. I will say one thing that helped me tremendously was being in the office and listening to, the Realty team talking, or, Lori Deppner talking. There's things that are to be learned from just sitting there and paying attention to what's going on in other people's business.
Yeah, that's so true. That's great. Ashley.
Yeah, so I actually have two people who are working on getting their license right now that have, contacted me when they were thinking about doing it. And one of the things I told them is just, it's going to be scary. Exactly what one of them said, is uncomfortable. You're starting a business. You're not sure. You're in an industry you've never been in before. But to be in the office, to be here, you're going to learn a lot. To meet with your mentor weekly is a huge thing. And so I always told them, just don't be scared, but know that it's not going to be easy. For some reason, I don't know why, but a lot of people think, oh, agents make a ton of money and they don't do a lot of work. That's so not true. But it's the people have this like thought that that's it. They just make a ton of money at one point and then they don't really do much. And so I tell them that's not what it is, but if you're a hard worker and you want to do it, you can succeed in this. It's possible. I didn't think I would ever succeed. I really didn't. I just was like, I can't do it. I can't go commission based. I can't do it. It's not me. But no, like you can do it. You just have to work on it. And so I just advise them to be prepared to work hard, but know that you can do it. And you're going to have, especially at Berkshire, because I came from another brokerage too, that didn't have the support that we have here. And so I also had advised them to go meet with other agents and just, act like you're going to be a buyer, act like you're going to list your home, hear what they have to say versus what we had to say. And one of them was like, yeah, there's terrible agents out there. I said, yeah, there are. So they're like, I want to be a good agent. I said, let's do it. So one's getting their license now. And so tell them just to be prepared to work hard, but to know that you can do it. Yeah. It's possible.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Joy?
I would say to someone just kind of starting out, one, like everybody's kind of saying, show up. You're going to learn more in the office just by being in the environment, especially at the beginning, because it is so scary. And we do this because we love it. Obviously there's a financial gain to it too, but you have to genuinely care about people and helping
Absolutely.
them. But I think the other thing too, like, don't compare yourself like to other agents and how they do their business and what their numbers are. And I think that is one thing, because you get scared being commission based, like, oh, that person had sales. And I'll be honest, someone asked me the other day, like what my sales word, and I was like, I don't know, like I mean, I know that sounds bad, but I'm like, I mean, obviously we're competitive with ourselves, as being commission based, but I just think that, yeah, just show up and be authentic. Don't compare yourself to other people. You'll find your own niche, your own process, and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's great. Mark?
So again, kind of repeating here, but definitely getting in front of people. What I've seen also with a lot of new agents is that they take a lot of time in trying to prepare the marketing up front, and they get bogged down with it without really trying to build their business. But even with that said, I do tell my mentees, like during that first week, is understand authenticity, like what Joy was saying, is so important, and people will see through any fakeness immediately. And so I tell my mentees, take a real true kind of look at yourself and try to understand what your message is going to be. Who are you going to be representing yourself as an agent? And try to look at it as, how do you differentiate yourself with the competition? So, I always give my example about the dogs in my life. That's important to me. So that's an easy way for me to translate that and provide that kind of insight to my clients. And people want that kind of transparency and authenticity. And so understanding what your brand is going to be and how you're going to market yourself is definitely important. But getting yourself out there and just jumping in with 2 feet is definitely, you should be as opportunistic as possible. And the other last thing I kind of remind people, because I think younger agents especially don't appreciate this as much, but it does make sense, is that you should look at every opportunity as a lifelong opportunity, meaning I want to be a lifelong agent for my client and everything that revolves around real estate for that client. So I don't look at that client for just that transaction. I look at them as who their sphere is, who else do they know, when they're going to buy again, the different cycles, so that it's a lifelong relationship that you're trying to develop with that person. And so that changes a little bit the way they look at it. It's not as transactional. It's, how do I build this relationship to be able to provide the best services for these people for whatever their needs are throughout the entire, their entire life, basically. That's the goal.
Good stuff. Yeah, don't hide behind that busy work, right? Everybody could sit there and go, oh, I got to prepare, and hide, and not get in front of people, which all of you are doing a great job of. So, Josh.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is focus on your sphere. Those people that are closest to you, that you see the most often, really focus on them, and don't be afraid to go the extra mile, because like Mark said earlier, it might be something like a handwritten card or flowers or something that really sets you apart and makes that person just a lifelong customer of yours who's going to refer you out to other people. Don't be afraid to go that extra mile and show kindness and all that kind of stuff. Because that stuff does go a long way, and you're looking for a referral based business. So you want to make sure that you go the extra mile for each person who's going to refer you that business.
Yep, absolutely. Great. Well, you guys are amazing. You're superstars, and I'm very proud and thankful that you're with our company. And I really appreciate your time this morning, and I hope you got something out of it as well. And so we're preparing for a managers team conference, and I thought it would be a great idea to kind of pick your brains, because you are our future, if not already, superstars of the company. And I wanted them to hear from you on and be able to share with our new future agents what you all are doing and what you've been doing to be superstars. So thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Yep, great weekend.
How do I?